Alright guys, welcome back. We have a whole lot going on this part here. I'm going to try and explain this as thoroughly as I can. Right now we're in the Mythril Mines. This part is pretty straightforward. You want to head back into this room. As soon as you get into the mines, take a right. Head up here, there's some items you can grab. After you've grabbed those 3 items, just head back down and leave this room. There's nothing else for you to do here. This is one of my favorite places to be because in certain rooms, almost every single battle you come across, you're going to have at least 5 enemies that you're going to fight, and this is going to speed up leveling your limit break. This is where I usually stay for quite a while and get my guys ranked up pretty high. Plus you can learn a couple enemy skills. As you can see, I just learned Flamethrower. There's also a couple nice items you can pick up from enemies while you're in here too. Okay, I'm sure at some point you're going to come across these guys. Once you do, steal. And it's going to be kind of hard, but you just want to keep stealing from these guys because you're going to get one of Tifa's weapons. It's the Grand Glove. Steal as many of them as you can because you can give one to Tifa and then you can use the rest to sell the next town you get to. Now here you're going to run across the Turks. If you have Ares in your party, there's going to be a little extra scene here, which I have her in my party. Otherwise it won't take quite as long. Now Elena mentions going to Junon, which is technically the next place we need to go, but we have a lot to do before we get there. First you want to head into this room, there's an elixir. and a high potion. And I just spent about an hour running around in this room, because every enemy you come across, you're going to come across 5 enemies at once, and like I said, it's a real quick way to level up your limit breaks. I highly suggest doing that. And once you leave the Mythril Mines, you want to head north, and there's going to be some grassy areas, as you can see. We're going to sit and we're going to run around and fight in here. And what we're looking for is a secret character. I'm sure you all know who it is. Yuffie's in here. This is the very first, or the earliest point that you can get her. A lot of people normally don't get her until the second continent, but you can actually get her right now, which is what I'm going to do. So run around this forest until you come across her. Beware of these guys. They can put a lot of damage on you in a hurry. So finish them off as fast as you can. Alright, so we come across Yuffie. There's not much to this fight. The fight itself is pretty easy. You just need to damage her enough before she gives up. Now here you're going to have to answer a series of questions, and you have to answer them exactly the right way or else she'll run away and she'll steal some of your money. So this is how you're going to want to answer. And just like that, you have Yuffie in your party. Alright, once you've done that, you want to head down south. And you're going to come across Fort Condor at some point here. Now this part is very interesting. It's for the most part it's a complete side story. You do have to come here once towards the end of the game, but other than that it's completely optional. But if you do want a perfect game, you will need to come here, and there's actually 17 battles that you can have here. So one of them is right now. Basically what's going on is these guys are protecting the Phoenix, which is a giant bird on top of a reactor, and the Shinra soldiers keep coming here, attacking them, and they're poor and they need your help to help defend against this Shinra soldiers. So you agree to help them, and there's 17 battles total throughout this game. Now after I help them this one time, I have to complete a certain amount of the story before I can come back here. And I'm going to tell you each time you can come back here. Now normally you have a really tight window, so if you don't come back the exact time where a battle is open, you're going to miss it. And for each battle you get an item. Now this is going to depend on what you define as a perfect game. Okay, I don't grab every item one. In order to get an item, you have to use the soldiers that you hire to defeat the soldiers coming up the hill. Now, if you let them get to the building that you guys are in, you and your party are going to have to fight them. And if that's the case, you won't get an item that you would have won before. So depending on what you define as a perfect game, you may not be able, or you may not think you can do that. Now, this very first match, you're going to win a magic comb, which is a weapon for Red 13. Now, for example, if you lose and you have to fight the enemies yourself, after you win, you won't win the magic comb. But let's say you come back on the second battle and you win the way you're supposed to with the soldiers, then you'll win the magic comb. So basically it'll mean you'll miss the item, you'll miss one of the items towards the end. So in order of the items that you win, the very first time you win, you'll win a magic comb, followed by a peace ring, followed by an ether, then a mega elixir. After the mega elixir, you'll win 5 potions. The 6th time, you'll win another 5 potions. The 7th victory, you'll win a super ball, which is a weapon for Yuffie. On the 8th battle, you'll win 3 turbo ethers. And on the 9th battle, you'll win 2 turbo ethers. Now before I continue with that, I'm going to show you my strategy here. There's a really easy way to win here. First, what you want to do is, see that red line? You can't have any soldiers past that red line. So as soon as the game starts, it'll let you move down just a little bit further every time. Get down as far as you can and have the soldiers attack the enemies that you see on the screen. Now I have my speed on the lowest setting right now because I just want to get my soldiers set up right. Then eventually, once it's all set up, I'm going to speed it up. Now this might be, you might consider this a cheap way to do this, but it's the easiest way. Normally you're going to have up to about 10 enemies come at you on this fight, but I'm only going to have 2 or 3, and it's because if you can get your soldiers to where they will be entering the map before they do, the match is automatically over. So you see I have 2 enemies on the screen right now, and I'm moving all my soldiers to where they would spawn. and just like that, it's over. I only had to fight 2 enemies. I should have had to fight at least 10. And you can do that on every match. It's a very simple way to beat it. So because I did that, I get all that money that I spent back because none of my soldiers died. And then as you see, I just got the magic comb, which is a weapon for Red 13. Now going back to the items that you win, battles 10 through 14, they happen when you are unable to actually fight. So those ones don't really count. On the 15th battle, the message is going to be blank. But as far as I know, you win, I think it's 3 potions. It's potions or others, I can't remember off the top of my head. But that's what you win for the 15th. For the 16th battle, because you're missing Cloud, you can't fight. And then on the 17th battle, you have to, that's the one battle that you have to fight. So, in my opinion, you want to fight at least 7 battles here, because you can win Yuffie's Super Ball weapon. Everything else, I mean, you can, potions and others you come across all the time, so it's not necessary. But if, like I said, if you want a perfect game, you may need to do that. Now, what I'm showing you right here is what happens if you let them come up to the building that you're in. And you might ask, why would you want to do that if you're not going to win an item? Well, there is a reason why, and it has to be within these first 3 battles. And so this is what I ended up doing. I'm just going to speed up this battle so you can hurry this up. But basically, if one of these enemies gets to the house that you're in, Cloud's party is going to have to fight him. In the first 3 battles, if you win one of the rarest items you can get in the entire game. Now, there is another way to get it, but this is by far the easiest way. The other way you can do it, it takes a lot of time and a lot of patience. I'll show you where to do it, but this is how I ended up getting this item. So a guy gets to the house, so you have to fight. It's only one person. No matter how many enemies you have left to fight, you only have to fight one guy. It's a CMD Grand Horn. He's pretty simple to beat. He has a lot of HP at this point, so it will take a little while, but his attacks are pretty weak. Now after you've finally defeated him, you will get a Vagirisk Claw. And this is a very, very hard item to come across. The CMD Grand Horn that you fight in the first 3 battles will give that to you. After that, you cannot get it from Fort Condor anymore. And then the only other way to get it is on the second continent. I'll show you how to get that when we get there. But like I said, it's very, very difficult to get that way. This is definitely the easiest way. So it kind of comes down to, you know, your opinion on what a perfect game is. In my opinion, as long as you have every item, every weapon, you know, you're not going to know the difference between a perfect game you know, if you have everything, as opposed to a perfect game if you, you know, did something different, as long as you have everything. But that's just my opinion. I'm just showing you an easy way to get that item, because it's extremely hard to get if you don't do it this way. But regardless, after you've completed that first battle here at Fort Condor, now we can go to Junon. Okay, once we get here, we're just going to head down these stairs, and we're going to have another boss fight, so get prepared. Be sure that you attach long range to Red 13 or Cloud, or you know, someone that isn't Yuffie or Barret. That way they can use their regular attack on him. Otherwise, you won't be able to reach him. Also, you'll want to cast Bio or Bio 2 if you have it. It does quite a bit of damage on him. He'll also cast the spell where he just slowly drains your HP. The way to get rid of that is to cast a magic spell on it. Usually after casting Bio twice, it'll poison him. Fire works really well, and Beta works really well too, as long as it hits. Like I said before, Beta works really well will work really well for you in basically this entire disc. It'll be one of your most powerful spells. But he's not very difficult. You won't fight a hard boss for quite a while, as long as you're doing things this way. Now after you defeat Bottomswell, you'll see Priscilla is unconscious and Cloud is going to have to do CPR on her. I think it takes 10 breaths before she comes back. It's not difficult because you can take as long as you need before you get it right. Now after you rescue Priscilla, if you want to do all of the Fort Condor battles, the next one is open right now. So as soon as you finish saving her, leave and head over to Fort Condor for the second battle. When you're done, come back to Junon and talk to the old lady walking around as soon as you get inside the town, and she will let you stay the night. And that will conclude this part. The next part will take place as you are staying the night with the old lady.